Hey man, I was just wondering, which one do you prefer? Disa, the first female dwarf mentioned by Tolkien, or Disa, the first black dwarf mentioned by Rings of Power?
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
How we do? Yeah. I said check me out.
What up YouTube, it's your boy Fatal J, back like I left something, and I'm glad you're here. Yes, I'm glad you're here. And you're gonna wanna watch this video all the way to the end, I promise you. Because I'm going to explain how black dwarves and black elves will make this show look absolutely stupid. This show being Rings of Power, because there are no black elves and there are no black dwarves when it comes to the third age. They wasn't even in the second age or the first age. But before we get into that, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell. Because every time you hit that notification bell, it makes your boy Fatal J feel oh so good and oh so swell. Yeah. So, this whole topic right here started from a meme that I posted in the community post. Make sure to subscribe to the Fatal J show, because I put out a lot of funny memes on the community post, and I asked people, I said, do you see the resemblance between Disa and Philly and Keeley? Now, I know for you Rings of Power people out there that's looking for this show, Disa is supposed to be in the second age, but it's a big mistake. Because for first thing I want to say, Peter Jackson, I want to give a shout out to Peter Jackson, because this went past a lot of people's nose in The Hobbit. He actually put female dwarves in the movie, and as you can see, she has a little beard thing going on, and it's some people out there in political correct world, or agenda world, should I say, like this scholar right here. I think his name is Corey Wilson or something along those lines, but he was on an IGN video and he was speaking about how a woman with no hair, a female dwarf with no hair, could work because it wasn't talked about in the show. It wasn't talked about in the books. Now, Gimli did say female dwarves look like the men, and then Aragorn said it's the beard. And that was not in the books. But in the books, it speaks. Tolkien say that female dwarves, human beings cannot tell the difference between female dwarves, and they can't tell the difference between male dwarves. Now, anybody with some common sense would say, if I can't tell the difference between those two, that means that the female dwarves had beards. Yes, they had beards. If you can't tell the difference, and you see dwarves all the time, men dwarves, you rarely see a shaven faced dwarf. Matter of fact, it's not even in the books. So you must say that the female dwarves have beards too. Now, so that is dead and in the water. You can't speak on that. Now, the difference between Disa and Diz was very interesting to me. Let's check out the Lord of the Rings wiki and see what they have to say about both of these characters right here. It says Disa, the black dwarf lady, was a dwarven princess of the second age. The character is non-canonical, as she does not appear in the works of J.R.R Tolkien. Now, when you put non-canonical characters in Tolkien lore, it's going to ruin a lot of things. Let's look at The Hobbit, Lady Taria, played by a magical Lily. And yes, I know I ruined her name. When she was in these movies, when we saw her in Smog, Desolation, and we saw her in the Battle of the Five Armies, she was not needed and added nothing to the story, and it made people wonder why she didn't show up in the Lord of the Rings story. And that's just like with this character right here, Disa, Disa, or whatever her name is. Why is she not in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? Because it adds another question to that. It makes people ask, where are the other black dwarves? And this is the thing right here. Black dwarves should not even exist in the lore. Key point. Most dwarves if not all, love living in mountains or hills. This is Tolkien words. They live below in the mountains, away from the sun. They live miles below down mountains. When Gandalf fought the Balrog, they was in Moria. It was so deep underground that Gandalf saw strange things. He was way deep in the earth. And you mean to tell me that it's dwarves of color, black dwarves, deep under the mountains? How did they get that complexion? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add to the story. It doesn't add to the story. Let's continue reading. Now let's read about Disa. Disa was the daughter of Theron II and sister of Tharion and Tharion II Oakenshield, as well as the mother of Philae and Kile. She was born in the Lonely Mountain on TA 2760 and was later driven into exile by Smaug in TA 2770. Disa is the only dwarf woman ever named by J.R.R. Tolkien in homage to her son's valiant deaths in the Battle of 5 Armies. The only female dwarf mentioned. That means that this character right here, Disa, as long as you have her in this show, it's going to ruin the canon and the lore of Lord of the Rings. What was the reason to even make up characters when Tolkien has a slew of dope characters that you can use? A slew of dope female characters that you can use. The females, the Numenorians. It's just so many dope characters out there. It's dope female elven characters. It's dope female Valar characters out there. Why did you have to do a black dwarf? And I will tell you why. Because of agendas. This is the thing that kills me about Amazon, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. You could have came out with a Lord of the Rings clone and put your own agendas in there and put your black dwarves and your LBGT dwarves or whatever you want to put out there. When you ruin one piece of J.R.R. Tolkien's lore, when you ruin just a tiny seed, it ruins everything else. Because J.R.R. Tolkien was that precise when it comes to the details. Now, you got black dwarves, you have black elves. You have a black elf named Adonor, which also leaves the question again. What happened to the black elves? How all of a sudden we're seeing black elves in the second age, and in the third age they're absolutely gone? Did a battle happen? Did a battle between the European elves and the black elves? Did a battle happen between the black dwarves? That's the problem that it leads to. When you all about agendas, when you all about messages, when you all about that stupid crap, it ruins great story. Now, the thing about great story, it goes all the way back to the caveman days. People are fascinated with a great story. You can have a movie with horrible CGI, but if it has great story, people can overlook that. But when you have the glitz and the glamour and the story is dumb and doesn't make sense, that's when people have a problem, and that's the reason why people are backlashing. That's the reason why when you look at these videos, you look at the downvote ratios, people are going crazy. And I truly believe in September 2022, we are going to see a big backlash with this first episode. I don't think people will be happy with this first episode. You guys let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Disa? Does it make sense? Or is this a new step in the age of Tolkien in the modern world and all that jazz? You guys let me know in the comments below what you think. What happened with the black elves and the black dwarves? Get back at your boy Theta J. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell. Because every time you hit that notification bell, it makes me feel oh so good and oh so swell. I'm out of here. Ninja Danny.